We will talk some rugby league. We are at the halfway point of the season. The Dragons are currently leading the Canterbury Bulldogs 16-6. This game screamed of a Canterbury win to me, given they're at Belmore for the first time since 2019. The Dragons don't have a great recent record against the Dogs.
Are we feeling fade incoming?
No, I don't want to comment. Given that I've got personal investment in this. No financial, just emotional, which tends to hurt more.
Ben Hunt looked good in the first half.
Sure did. He'll be putting his hand up for possible Origin selection, which we will talk about after reviewing the weekend's games. So Thursday kicked us off with a Melbourne Storm clinic against Manly, 28-8. No Harry Grant. He's a doctor, but seems to be low grade. Should be good for Origin. Is the chat. Jerome Hughes back in the 7 jersey was a big factor for the Melbourne Storm.
Jerome Hughes in Storm win, I think, is the former. I saw some stats with Jerome in the team. There's like an 84% of games won. With Munster in the team, it's like 64%. And then that was the comparison they were using with Munster. And then I think it was something like without the other one. So Jerome won more often when he had games without Munster. When Munster didn't have Hughes, they lost more games.
That's interesting.
So it was interesting, So it goes to the chat of why they signed Hughes first and gave him that big deal and re-upped him over doing Munster. The stats don't lie in that regards. They win more games having Hughes there. And I think this kind of showed, because we've got the stat there, is Cam Munster show.
Absolute clinic.
Yeah, well, it just... Hughes, I guess, frees Munster up to do all the good creative things that he needs to he wants to do. So he doesn't have to do all the other management and game management shit. And Hughes does all that work, does all the good kicking game, and puts them in the spots where Munster can score points.
Batman needs Robin, bro. Cam Munster, his stat line: 2 tries, 1 try assist, 5 tackle busts, 149 run meters, 92 fantasy points. The chat again I imagine this week will be who's going to sign him. Are Redcliffe going to throw a bunch of money? Or us keep calling it Redcliffe. The Dolphins. The Dolphins going to throw.
Dolphins that are in Redcliffe that are not called Redcliffe.
Oh no, Canterbury's in already.
The fade's on, bro. The fade's on.
16-10, kick to come. Storm looking like old Storm, and I think the caveat with them getting pumped by Cowboys was no Jerome Hughes.
Yes, no Jerome Hughes. So, and I think on the Munster signing, I'm thinking post-Origin would come. If he has a really good Origin series, I think that's maybe what he would kind of show his wares with quality talent, the best talent he's probably going to have in a side. And then if he can do really well in there, that's maybe adds a couple hundreds of thousands to his what he's hoping from that 7 to the over $1 million. And then, maybe someone he could do a deal with the Dolphins or force Storm to give him a bit more than maybe what they're offering is why he hasn't signed. It'd be interesting to see. That's my feeling. Post-Origin period is when we might have a Munster signing.
Kieran Foran's 250th game was kind of spoilt by the scoreline. We spoke last week with Manly losing Tommy Turbo. They are a different team without Turbo, and it kind of showed here. Also, a bit of a fierce rivalry between these two teams. They've met twice in grand finals. We had the Battle of Brookvale, 10, 11 years ago.
Is one of those official and one not?
One stripped from... Melbourne won one and Manly pumped them in the other one, but only one now officially stands.
Yes.
Exactly. But and the battle, like I was saying, the Battle of Brookie, where there was a bit of a brouhaha between Glenn Stewart and who was the other bloke? Battle of Brookvale. Chase that up. Glenn's. Oh, this is
from Melbourne. Croker?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Not Michael.
Nope.
Croker.
Chase it up.
He likes a bit of a biff. That's why I threw him out.
He did. He didn't mind a bit of a biff. Oh, Mick Croker. Whilst you chase that up, let's talk Panthers-Cowboys. Panthers win 22-0. The Cowboys come crashing back to earth after 6 on the trot.
Adam Blair.
There you go. Yeah, that's
remember that guy.
Remember that.
Yeah.
Their careers would be done these days.
That's life for these. Yeah.
That's life.
I think
life, no parole.
Yeah, we talked about in the AFL section about the D's kind of being the test So the Cowboys have come to the Penrith as their tests.
Yeah,
found lacking here. Yep. Didn't even score a single point.
Yep.
And the Penrith, scored 22 and were way more competitive. Just showed their class as the top team currently in the competition.
They look way too good. Melbourne look good. Penrith look that class above. They are 4 points ahead on the ladder. And someone who also looks way too good, Isaiah Yeo. He was leading the Dally M with 17 votes, I think, ahead of Nico Hines and Ben Hunt. Yes, who were both on 16. Pappy, Mitch Moses, 15 apiece. So now is the round where the Dally M votes, they go behind closed doors, so it's becomes more speculative. I reckon he may have got the 3 votes in this. He got at least 2. He's putting together a remarkable season and will no doubt be named as the New South Wales 13 in a few hours. Yep. I suppose a lot of the chat moving forward, as per last year, will be, do they make the GF and can anyone beat them when the time counts? Obviously, they're going to finish top 2 and a class above everyone else.
Yeah, I'm not sure a team has formed like South did last year that could then beat one of the two and get their way into the final. At the moment, it's just these clear 2.
Yeah,
and there's no one really in that 3rd or 4th spot yet that I think, because I think it's Cowboys and Brisbane in those spots, and they kind of really had an insurgency this year. But there's no kind of club with stars that are kind of ready to go to really push these two come finals time.
Para for me is that smoky. We like to.
They're the Dave Grohl's, bro.
The Dave Grohl's, the pretenders. We like to laugh at Parramatta fans' expense on this show, but their track record is good. They've got wins against both these sides.
True.
Can they do it when it counts? I think that's going to be the big thing for Parramatta. And on paper, like Mitch Moses is just getting better and better. Dylan Brown is getting better and better. Gutho, obviously, an elite player. As it is, that forward pack is nasty at Parramatta. That's the only one. That's the only one for me. But yeah, it does seem a little bit like last year and the year before, where it's kind of, who can beat Penrith and Melbourne.
Dragons could be in trouble here.
Oh, it could be.
That was a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
The old clothesline.
That is Amone on Matt Burton, lazy left arm, cops him high. No bin. Let's go.
Everyone in the crowd.
13 v 13.
Oh.
He's got headgear. He'll be right.
Yeah, different rules for different weeks.
Yeah, that's right. Consistency. It's an old wooden ship. That's diversity.
One thing to note on this Panthers-Cowboys game as well, not that it would change the result, but Tamalolo and Felt were both out.
Felt maybe not so much. Tamalolo makes a big difference in that forward pack.
Yeah. Do they win if those two guys play at Penrith? Probably
not. Not a 22-point difference, though.
Yeah, do they get some points on the board maybe with one of the elite front rowers? Oh, my goodness. Dufty. Yep, Dufty 2.
All right, it's 16-all.
Is it?
Yep.
Fucking hell. That one hurts. Ex-Dragon with a try assist. Uh-oh. There's going to be some Ralph Wiggum shit. You can pinpoint the exact moment his heart breaks. Okay, Broncos-Titans. Friday night. What an epic comeback this was from the Bronx. 24-4.
They were so flat.
And this is the second time that the Titans have absolutely ballsed up a massive lead because they were absolutely dicking the Canberra Raiders back in round 3, round 4, down here in Canberra, and coughed up that one. 31 unanswered points to the Bronx.
Can you bring up any of their stats marks on errors and penalties for me too? Because I don't think they'll break it down by Haas, but they're one of those sides that definitely is very prone to being turnover city when it matters most.
Prone to capitulation. Yeah. It was,
well, Big Tino had a huge first half, and then they just worked him over in the second. To the point where, like in the presser, he was like, I don't think you're getting picked for Origin after that game. And I was like, well, on your first half alone, I think they'll probably pick you.
Tino said that about himself?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, because that's how disappointed he was in his performance in the second half and the Titans' performance in that second half.
I think he'll definitely be playing Origin.
He played
69 minutes. Nice. 271 metres gained. That's fucking crazy. And I think in the first half he had like 200.
Yeah. That was point. Like, he dominated that first half. But
wild scenes. 31 tackles, a tackle bust, 6 missed tackles. Maybe he was a little bit off himself for that. But a pretty epic stat line there from Big Tino for Asasua Mala'awe. I reckon I might have that down to an art now. A name that's easier to say is Payne Haas. He was very good, as per usual, in the Bronx comeback. But the big story this week was some contract negotiations failing. The report came out that it was him demanding an immediate release from the Bronx. Kevy Walters wasn't so sure, saying that there was, Payne has always been a Bronco, wants him to stay a Bronco. Do you think he's bluffing, or do you think it's a bit of the Barley special, where you walk away, I don't want it, and then you come back and you buy it anyway?
Brisbane, and
Broncos,
I think we're getting
Titans.
into Payne Haas conversation.
Yes. So it's
the Barley special.
That's right. A massive pain in the arse for Brisbane's, management. Yeah, no one's ever made that joke before. Is he bluffing? Does he actually want out of Brisbane? He's put together one of the most elite years from a front row forward I've ever seen. What are we thinking, Sean? You follow the Broncos pretty closely.
Yeah, well, because he's on the 700K, he wants to bump that up to over $1 million. How far over $1 million? No one's really kind of said.
Which people back in the day would have scoffed at for a middle forward, but you're looking at Taumalolo and the deal that he's on, and then you think, oh, well, that's a leverage ship for Payne Haas, and arguably, a lot better than JT at the moment.
So Payne Haas are definitely trying to capitalise on the fact he's the best forward in the competition and wants to be paid as much. So there was chat also, because when he first came in, he did his shoulder, needed a shoulder reconstruction, and they gave him that long-term deal he's currently on. So they stood by him, and now the flip side is a stand by us kind of thing. But he plays a tough sport, and in one of the toughest positions, get what you can while you can. So I'm not too worried about that. It's a bit hard when you request an immediate release and then have to turn out and play a couple of days later.
Well, he played lights out on Friday night.
Yeah, and got booed the entire time.
Yeah, Suncorp, they don't give a fuck, hey.
No, they were not. Well, of course, they're not happy with the whole situation. Yeah. But yeah, it seems
booing your best player is interesting.
It's between the management team more and the Brisbane front office, the other Brisbane team, the Broncos front office, Ben Eichen there. So we'll see what happens. They've basically said he's got a contract. He's got to see that contract out. So it's either don't play, as in take that Barley special even further and hold out, or keep playing, get picked for New South Wales, and play out that contract and then get your big deal. We'll have to see.
I can't see him sitting out. It's pretty rare. Like, we do see it in the American sports where guys literally hold out. I can't really think of too many examples here, although we'll get into Matt Lodge in a second.
I just got some reports here. So besides the immediate increase in his salary, Haas also wanted to include a clause in the new arrangement that would allow him to leave the team if they didn't make the top 8 in the first year of his contract, miss the top 6 in the second year of the contract, or fail to break into the top 4 in the third year.
Jeez, that's a lot written into a contract.
Yeah, so he wants
to win.
He wants to win.
I think the other bit that they reported as well, hasn't been handled fairly with some of his off the field instances as well, because he got that match with him and Kelly, whereas Cobbo had the drink driving charge recently and didn't copped basically a slap on the wrist.
See, that's a bad one for team chemistry when you're starting to go, well, this player got treated differently. That's kind of concerning, I think, for Bronx fans.
Considering he's probably their veteran leadership, would be in that group with how young that team is.
But how about Kelly stepped on his shoes, bruh?
Yeah, ruined his shoes. So.
I mean, and you make the point that he's in like that senior leadership, like that probably stands to reason why he probably did get hit a little bit harder. Like he should.
Also true. Versus the 19-year-old who's learning how to be a professional football player.
Still shouldn't be.
It's wild though. But how old is he? 22.
Yeah, 22, yeah.
To think that he's that good and that big.
Same with the troll, like
at 22. Yeah.
So young and
boggles
played
the
5
mind.
years already.
Yeah, it boggles the mind when you think, how many games has he played? He would have played 60, 70 games probably already.
Getting close to 100.
As a 20-year-old, chase that up for Payne Haas. Broncos fans, get at us. What is going on? Are they going to be able to keep him?
71 games played.
There we go. Right on. Yeah. Knights, Warriors. Knights jump the Titans and Tigers into 13th position with their second win in the last 3 weeks, sort of getting their season a little bit back on track. Dave Clemmer and Tyson Frizzell were both pretty good, pushing for their origin selection or reselection, I suppose. The big concern, I suppose, for Blues fans and origin selection, Daniel Saifiti went down with a knee injury. Looked like an MCL. He'll be awaiting scans, but hopefully it's not too bad a news for Daniel Saifiti. I just checked Twitter in our little internet break, and it seems his brother Jacob Saifiti.
I was just trying to find that as well. Yeah,
his rumors. It's interesting. This lead up into the teams coming out.
He's had to drive down to New South Wales, so it sounds like he might be in the squad at least.
Drive down to Sydney.
Yes, so not very far from Newcastle to Sydney.
Drive down to New South Wales. Like, where's
sorry,
where's he driving from?
So when I said New South Wales, I meant New South Wales camp. In Sydney. Sorry.
Okay.
He's driving down into New South Wales camp.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Remember, I can't read your mind. I need to just convey words to each other in order to communicate.
Yes.
So interesting. Yeah, that's a pickle, isn't it? Jacob Saifiti, definitely a good player. But the amount of good prop and middle forwards that New South Wales possess at the moment, it might be a head scratcher if he gets picked. Again, it's a report. Who knows? We will only know in about 4 hours' time who makes this team. Ewan Aitken, he has been very, very good for the Warriors this year, but he'll be a Dolphin next year. Not a Redcliffe Dolphin, not a Sunshine Coast Dolphin, a Redcliffe Dolphin. That pack is starting to look pretty good. Monks, if you wouldn't mind,
they've got no backline, but they've got forwards.
just bring up the Dolphins team so far. Yeah, no backline, no halves of note, but forward pack looking pretty good.
Everyone they've signed in the backline so far has been young fellas.
I wonder if they sign him and he goes back to his centre position that he played as a Dragon. He's been very, very good as a second rower. Does very well in the fantasy Supercoach realm week by week. Hard-working, fit, sort of undersized, I suppose, second rower. So it's not looking great for the Warriors next year with him going. And Matt Lodge, we spoke about his release last week.
Yep.
A little bit came out about the argy-bargy between him and owner Mark Robinson. Sean, did you read anything into this?
Yeah, it was during the off-season. Must have been a team event. They were at the pub, by all accounts. Mark said it was 2 alphas going at it.
I like that he said that, alpha men.
Yeah, and Matt came out during the week and said there was nothing alpha about it. It sounds like he had shitloads of beers, and Matt was just like having none of it because he said I drove home afterwards. So it sounds like he's obviously said something. Maybe in jest of Lodge, and he's taking, hasn't taken a well with that. They've had words, and Lodge obviously doesn't want to commit long term to the club and play under that ownership. And to that point, as you said, they've paid out his deal of the $700K, so he's playing Park Rugby Union and getting paid $700K to do it.
Did he play Union on the weekend?
Yeah.
Really?
Just a local club game. So
wow, that's so interesting that they paid him out. I would have thought if someone walks away,
it's hush money. That's the point.
Yeah, I suppose.
So they've obviously agreed to mutual separation and to keep quiet about the actual reasons. So obviously it was with the owner of the Warriors.
Warriors shit show next year, perhaps. When they do eventually return to their homeland.
Get beaten by the Knights doesn't look good for your chances.
No, it's not looking great. Also not looking great, the West Tigers season. They got spanked last night by the Rabbitohs, 44-18. Alex Johnson We like talking about him a little bit on the Esky. He had a hat trick and moves into. No, he's two behind. He was two behind. Nathan Merritt, and is now the highest try scorer for the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Didn't we work out last year that Alex Johnson is the only current player, if he maintains this pace,
he's on
plays
track.
a long career, on track to be the all-time try scorer.
So Ken Irvine has the all-time record at 202, I believe, and Alex Johnson, Monks, if you wouldn't mind chasing up, is 147.
147.
And he's only 27, 28. So if he's able to stay healthy and stay at this strike rate, may go down as the NRL's highest try scorer of all time.
Yeah, long way still to go.
Long way still to go, but he's three-quarters of the way there.
Yeah, and if he maintains the pace, stays consistent in the squad and plays for a good 6 or 7 more years, he'll get there.
I don't think he needs to play 6 or 7. He's on 147, and for 50, he needs 55 tries, 56 to take the record.
True.
He needs to play for 3 seasons. He needs to play for 3
Ken
years.
Irvine had 212.
212. 212, not 202. 212. Okay, so quick math, 65. Yeah, I think he just needs to string together 4 seasons. How old is Nathan Merritt? Is he 20?
Nathan Merritt or Alex Johnson?
Alex Johnson.
Got you.
Damn it! I'd love to have an episode where I don't fuck anything up the whole episode, because then I can really go ham.
It's pretty easy to do. Just don't say anything.
yeah, but
I don't say much and I still fuck stuff up. So.
Yeah, but you opened your mouth. That's what I'm saying. You just don't open it.
Let's have a podcast where we just sit in silence and listen to our head noise.
Yeah, Alex Johnson is 27.
27, dude. Barring some kind of horrific injury, which obviously
got planned to his 30s.
We hope doesn't happen. I think he's going to get this record.
That's it. So most tries scored, sitting at number 10 on the list. Josh Morris at 158.
Mm-hmm. Yep, not playing anymore.
Not playing anymore. So
none of these guys.
Do you reckon he could get into the top 10
this year? He needs 11 tries. There's 12 games remaining. Yeah, maybe.
What's the average a year? About 20.
Yeah,
if he can stay to that 20 average, yes, he should get there. And then hopefully, if he plays longer, set a very big record for someone else to chase.
Unreal stuff. Tigers actually had a bit of a lead and then went scoreless in the second half. Whatever Maguire said, he said they could win every game and get into finals contention going forward.
Yeah, he was
love to be optimistic.
And I think he was talking about that mentality, like if we're going in every game thinking that we can win, we'll be able to make it through the finals, get into final contention. That being said, looking at the rest of the draw for this season, round 17, 18, 19, they've got the Eels, Panthers, Cowboys. Probably can't see them getting past them.
I was wondering why
round 24, they've got the Dragons.
Powerhouse team.
Are they still in front of the Bulldogs currently?
The Tigers? Yes, they are.
No, the Dragons currently playing.
Oh, yeah, the game that's currently on.
Still a try in front?
It's still, we've got 18,000 things on the screen here.
Hey,
another try. Let's fucking go. All right, let's talk about this Redcliffe Dolphins team quickly so we can fuck it off and watch the rest of this game.
Yeah.
All right, so like we said, forward pack starting to take some shape. Obviously, a lot of Storm guys there in the Bromwich brothers and Felice Kafusi.
Mark Nichols is not a bad get.
Yeah, Mark Nichols, he's pretty good. Ewan Aiken, does he play centre? Does he play second row? They've got Jermaine Asako and then Robert Jennings, probably the bigger names there.
Yeah,
and the goat Edric Lee
and Asako, and you're like,
They obviously, and this goes back to Buddy Franklin, chicken, egg, etc. chat. They need a spine, obviously, and then you can start thinking, how's this team actually going to look? But it's not installing fear, I don't think, into the opposition just yet.
We also talk a lot about faces of franchises. Wouldn't say any of those guys would be your face currently.
There's
who's your marquee signing?
There's no superstar.
That's going to do all your media.
Like the Bromwich boys are very, very good players. They've had a long time in that Melbourne system, but is there? There's no marketable.
Exactly.
Gutho, Cleary, Munster.
Who's selling your jerseys?
etc. Just there. So, hate to flog the dead horse, but is Munster going to be the 6 for the Dolphins, and how much money are they going to be able to throw at him? Roosters Sharks. This was Master taking on the Apprentice. A little bit of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker. I have
Bulldogs good.
I have the high ground. Shit. Fuck. Here we go. I'm going to have a heart attack live on the internet. This is good.
Everyone came out this week. Pretty good show.
Is it?
There you go.
I probably full disclosure. I probably won't watch it. We haven't.
There's no sports in it,
a big Star Wars.
and you're not a racing fan, so you wouldn't be into pod racing.
This is pod racing. I was sort of thinking about this, and I'm glad this has come up because I've been waiting a long time to make this joke. When you say something good and it's on a podcast, you could be like Anakin Skywalker as a young fella. Now this is podcasting. Pumping the Skywalker. Fucking what do they call them? Pod racers. Pumping the Skywalkers. Actually, elite Nintendo 64 game, the old pod racing game.
Yes.
Yeah, with Sebulba the Doug. Sebulba. This chat has gone from semi-nerdy to 100% nerd in the space of a few minutes. Shout out to Sebulba the Duck. Roosters, Sharks, Master Apprentice. Fuck, I can't talk anymore. Master Apprentice, the Star Wars has got me. I'm turning into some kind of Wookiee. I can't even do the noise.
The wheels have fallen.
All right, let's talk. Let's get the Star Wars chat the fuck out of this podcast and talk about some rugby league with the Roosters taking on the Sharks.
Yeah.
James Tedesco, absolute clinic. A few people, naysaying about his.
Shouldn't pick him for Origin.
Oh, fuck me dead. He is the best fullback in the world. Sorry, Tommy Turbo.
He's the only healthy one as well.
Well, that is true. 238 run meters, 2 try assists, 9 tackle busts, and a meat pie. Captained him in fantasy, big dick energy. The thing with NRL fantasy is everyone's team is half the same. So I feel like you got to mix it up sometimes. If you see they've got Cleary captain, you got to try and put all your eggs in one basket, so to say. I'm also coming 15th out of 18 teams in this fantasy league, so take what I say with a grain of salt.
Yeah, it's about average for you.
Excuse me, who's won a NFL fantasy more recently?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Where did you finish last year?
Where did I finish? 9th or something?
Yeah, second, so fuck off.
Second. No, second.
If you're not winning, you're not. Wait. Shit.
If you're first, you're last, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah,
that's not true. You can be 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
Hell, you can even be 6th. Yeah, opens your mouth fucked up.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay. All right. We've gotten a little bit dribbly of late. Roosters, Sharks. Teddy, absolute clinic. Daniel Tupou scored a double. Mm-hmm. All the late mail is that Daniel Tupou is going to be selected for State of Origin, which we will discuss in a couple minutes. Mm-hmm. Bit of a lackluster effort from the Sharks. Nico Hines also, Origin chat. The best thing I think to come out of this game, other than an absolute clinic from Tedesco, was Paul Gallen sitting with ScoMo, both Sharks legends, I suppose. One allegedly shattered Engadine Maccas one time, and the other is Scott Morrison. It's a horrible setup there. I thought interesting blokes sitting next to each other, and then I started to think, maybe this is Gal's next fight. Could you imagine in the era of Jake Paul and people saying ridiculous things and calling out, ridiculous? Imagine Gallen versus ScoMo, and they're just talking out the contract negotiations. 8 rounds.
Would this be like a debate, or are they actually going hands?
Oh, let's go.
Throwing hands.
Let's go one then the other. Let's go fight and then debate.
Yeah, okay.
And then we'll if it
Paul Gallen doing a debate. Fuck me. Watching him on the footy shows is tough as enough.
And if it's one apiece, which I imagine it is, ScoMo wins the fight and Gallen wins the debate. You go to a tiebreaker, which is a game of soccer against under 12 kids or under 8s. And if Gallen doesn't fall and crush one of the kids with his 110 kilo frame, then he wins the tiebreaker. My goodness. Okay.
It's almost as entertaining as the Bulldogs play and the Dragons currently.
Mate, this is an elite matchup here. 28-24, 9 minutes to go. The Sunday afternoon game that is upcoming is the Raiders and the Eels. A lot of interest, obviously, down here in Canberra from Canberra Raiders fans. This is a bit of a litmus test for them going up against the Parramatta Eels, who Dick, I was just riding not long ago. Hopefully it's not Junior Paulo's. Jared Croker.
Heavy.
Jared Croker, he dislocated his shoulder at training.
That was the original chat, and then there's some talk about that he maybe strained it, and then the actual dislocation came when he was reaching for the remote at home.
This reeks of Glenn McGrath rolling his ankle on the ball, prior to the Ashes. Yeah. One of those freak injuries.
Well, he had the shoulder injury. The week he played for the Raiders, which might have been 2 weeks ago now, and you've bad shoulders, you're known to re-injure, and especially with dislocation, you can definitely re-dislocate a lot easier after the first one. So, it seems to be the case. He's got a bad shoulder, whether that means reconstruction for him and shut him down, and whether that means
retirement,
career donezo, which would be sad for long-term Raiders fans of Jared. With him trying to chase down Cam Smith's records. He's the only one that potentially could do that currently.
He's just too banged up, isn't he? 31-year-old and the body is failing.
Failed very quickly, unfortunately, for Jared. So wish him all the best. We'll see what he does in his recovery. It's looking like he's getting played out of that squad with how well some of the other guys are doing and stepping up. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Excellent segue into Xavier Savage being named at number one, the fullback position. CNK Charles Nickel Klukstad has done his hammy, although it seems like a low grade, I believe, for CNK. You like Savage at one here?
Yeah, a lot more than I do at winger. Let's put it that way. Yep. Scored a great try to seal that game last week as well.
His best showing, I think, last week, wasn't it? Yeah,
playing fullback. So.
We could see what he's capable of.
Yeah, it helped having a spare fullback on the bench after Chan's got injured, and Chan's I think struggling with a recurring hamstring injury at the moment. So, though it's low grade, they might try to shut him down and rest him. Well, not shut him down, rest him a little bit to see how he goes. And that also might depend on how well Savage plays in that fullback position. But we'll see. Also looks like Fogarty's back too. So I just saw that on Twitter. That sounds like he's back, so he might be playing this. And that with Jack could be a big in. So we'll see how they go against the Eels. You'd think the Eels would win this game, but you know what the Eels are like. Raiders are lower on the ladder, so they'll throw out a stinker in this one, and the Raiders will score 30.
The Dave Grohls, huh?
Yeah.
What if I say I'm not like the others? It's not copyright if you sing in it, is it? / butchering it?
It depends on how close you are.
Oh, so we're fine. Going into this game, the Parramatta Eels are $1.50. The Canberra Raiders at home $2.60.